welcome to another episode of Coffee with Genially. I'm here with my friend Moe Ash. Welcome to Coffee with Genially.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm so happy to have you here because you are one of my favorite Genially ambassadors and my friend and Genially heavy user.
Definitely. Genially Ambassador all the way. Yep. Been here since 2019. Woohoo.
2018.
Yeah, I've been using the tool since 2019. Yeah.
Wow. You know that,
Remember, that wasn't you. I guess that was Florina. I told her there,
Flori?
by the way, there's an actual LMS that uses Genially. She was like, there's an LMS that puts embedded Genially. Like, yes, you don't know about it. No, we don't. And then we started the conversation accordingly. And this is how I started to be an ambassador at that time.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
It
Florin
was
just be like,
it's easy. It's
you
easy.
need to
It's
meet
another
Moe.
Spanish tool. Oh,
And I go, yeah, why? He creates amazing gamify experience using Genially. I don't know how he actually does it. And I was like, what? Who is Mo? And then I met you and you showed me one of your games. And I was like, how did you do it? Like, you can actually do it in Genially? Like, how? And I still
yeah,
get
yeah.
amazed with all your creations. So that's what I want to
And
ask.
that was Genially using the older creation. So imagine what we could do with the new
Yeah,
ones now. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you know. So how did your journey into the instructional design sector begin? This is the first question that I ask everyone because all the answers are so like by accident or no, I was studying psychology and then I moved to transition to instructional
By
design or I was
accident.
a teacher. But it's incredible how they like fall in love into the instructional design industry, but they were in another path. Like
Not by
how did
accident.
you begin?
Absolutely by accident. Before I got into instructional design, I was hoping and aiming, the dream was I'm going to be an L&D consultant. L&D organizational corporate based L&D consultant. I'm only going to be working for big corporates, do minor work, and live in Hurghada by the Red Sea and live the bohemian life, do a couple of like tasks and get paid well, and that's it. That was obviously the utopian dream of it until I I stumbled upon a company that does board games, business board games. And there I kind of find out that, you know what? Looks like design is a thing that I do enjoy. And it went on from there. Yeah, like gamification and instructional design came to life both at the same time. And that was 9 years ago as pure instructional design and gamification. That was 9 years ago, I suppose. Yeah.
You were straight to gamification.
I went straight into gamification. At the
Wow.
beginning, it was like minor design, focusing on corporate work. I got myself a diploma in performance management, certified assessment center analyst, L&D management, psychometrics, a diploma in creating competency matrices. I was so into I'm going to be an assessor, an L&D consultant, I'm going to be working for corporate, and all of that I did not work on, although I got the diplomas for it. Just went straight into instructional design and then gamification. So now I have it under my belt as part of my thought process, but I don't do anything with it. Like it's not like it helps me in creating that kind of solution, but it's good when I'm having conversations with clients and corporate, I
Wow.
suppose. Yep.
This is incredible. But why do so many people call you the alchemist of gamification?
Not a lot of people know about this. Not a lot of people, by the way.
Actually, I have seen it on LinkedIn and everywhere, like the alchemist of gamification. Like, I need to ask him.
Okay, the whole alchemy thing started off back in 2018.
Okay.
So you get yourself occupied with all of the gamification books and understandings, and I'm like, okay, there isn't something that I can fully utilize for the thought process that I want when I'm building a game.
Okay.
And me and my team at that time, we stayed for like a year studying. And then it took us 5 more months and we created our own framework. It's called the Alchemist. So that is our own framework. that we use in gamification design, I don't have it beside me here. We have a deck of cards, of 35 cards, and we apply it on a metric with specific ratios. And whenever we have a solid design and we want to turn it into a game, which is basically turning base metal into gold, hence
Wow.
alchemy, we use the cards and we create a game. And the whole thing was actually built on a story by the Alchemist Supreme, who wants to unite all of the champions from all of the houses in old ancient world back to unity and peace. And how would that happen? By discovering the art of alchemy. So the champions will be together, forming unitions and coalitions to create alchemy. So the different houses represent the different mechanics of gamification for learning. And each and every one of them has specific powers. Those powers represent behavioral mechanics. So this is how we created the Alchemist deck. Now, the deck is here. We've been using the deck for almost 4 years now, I suppose. Almost 4 years. We've been using it for all of our games. We have around like 16 different games that we've created.
16 different games.
16 different board games. Yes, 16 different
Wow.
board games, card games, and
Amazing.
escape games. These are the ones that we have. And three gamification systems, complete gamification systems that can go for like months. uh all were done using the Alchemist. And now, since I've said that in a different podcast and I'm pushing myself, I'm halfway in writing down my book, the Alchemist, on how to do gamification
Your
for learning.
book.
Yes, I'm working on my book right now. I'm halfway through
Wow,
it.
that's big news.
Yeah, I'm working on the book. Yeah. Hopefully speaking, maybe in a year,
Okay, guys,
maybe
stay
more. I don't
tuned.
know. I don't know.
Moe
But
Ash
yeah.
is bringing us a book. Wow, congratulations, Mo.
Thank you.
This is
So yeah,
incredible. You know that
that's the alchemy.
the alchemy and your academy is called the catalyst, right?
The character is
The-
actually called the Alchemist Supreme.
Oh,
The Alchemist Supreme. And obviously, our developer, who you already know her, she created the Alchemist Supreme to be a bold guy with a very big beard, and he's wearing a robe and something. So a little bit of vanity is happening here. Just a little bit of vanity. Yeah. The
I
Alchemist
love
Supreme
it.
is the one that is uniting everyone.
Speaking about your team and your projects, let's think about one of your most recent instructional design projects. Can you explain your design process from idea to implementation? Because to me, like everything that, like every game, every project that I have seen that you have been involved on your team is so like, wow, did you actually did it in Genially or in order to like, it's incredible how actually you create this, how you make like from an idea to an actual a project.
Product. Okay, so another new thing, we've created a game just recently. It's called Gateways. And it starts off always with a discovery call. So discovery call says we have, I guess by the time this episode comes up, we would already like notify everyone that we have the Gateways game. So we have an issue that we want to educate leaders on how to understand their teams and their roles, not personalities, their roles and what they do. We want to offer them the ability to deliver proper feedback and how to do one on one and how that can work on developing their future leaders. And I'm like, okay, this is nice. And how do you want to do this? We don't want to do it in a workshop. We don't want to do anything but in a game. So, first, I do not think about a game, I think about a design. So, first off, this was the discovery call. We did the meeting. Obviously, the meeting doesn't need a subject matter expert. I'm already a subject matter expert in management, and I've already done some of those. If it's an SME, I'm going to be looking for an SME, whether an academia, a researcher, an expert in the field, maybe a champion in a company, or maybe a veteran that have done this more than once before. Once I'm done with that, I create a concept. That concept would be outlines, learning objectives, specific actions that we'd be focusing on. And once that is done, we create a draft and we create a solid learning design from start to end. We have that
Wow.
in mind. Then we start to think, okay, how can we boost the call to action in this design. So what we have looked into, we need to let people know about Belbin roles for team management. And we want to give them feedback using Adam Grant's SBI, situation, behavior, and impact. And we want to use grow because the client asked for grow in coaching. And the overall arching concept will be 70-20-10. So at first, I usually go back to anime, the comics behind me here, the anime, or comics or games, so I can find like myself any inspiration or something. At the beginning, I thought, okay, maybe D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, because I always go to Fantasia and like mystical and medieval stuff. And at the end, what we looked into, if we put them in dungeons, that's not going to be helpful. That will create a little bit of like, well, a little bit of humiliation to the learner. Why are we in dungeons and we're teams? So at the end, we were like, it's not a dungeon, it's a gateway. We're putting gateway. And the gateway will allow each and every leader to get their teams from one area to the other, as long as they can offer the right feedback if they understood their role, and they can offer the right coaching if they understood their role. And the
Wow.
game became a board that encapsulates all of the 9 roles in team management by Meredith Belbin. And then people would have a token that would be shifting each and every time. So the numbers that you would pick the team on keeps on shifting. So people wouldn't be focusing on a specific role. Each and every turn, they throw a dice. The dice will give them a number. That number might be one of the 9 roles, but every time the number shifts. So they're not going to be focusing on one role, they would go into different roles. And when they do, they have to discard a card. Each and every card would give them questions about how to coach or how to feedback that person. If they do, they can have advantages. One time it could be choosing the role that you want to work with. The next time, one time will be points, the other times will be scrolls of wisdom, so you can create the best team, and it goes on this way. So by the end of it, they pick the right matrix of team roles that they want for their team, and they offer us an understanding of why, because we know how to coach this, we know how to do feedback to that. And by the time all of the teams have done the work, you would find that their matrices are pretty much almost the same. They have almost the same type of ratio, and it would differ from one team to the other. That means there isn't a simple, full fledged, bulletproof way of putting a team. It really depends on what you want to do with the team, as long as you know how to coach them and how to give them feedback. So, how does it happen from design to implementation? The implementation is where we start with. We want people to be able to coach, to give feedback, to develop, and then since the design is good, let's go back to the game. How can we let them reach that call to action? And the design
You are
looks really good
mixing like everything. Like you are trying to put everything together, like applying all the techniques, like gamification,
in two
feedback
hours.
collection, rewards.
And
Huh?
in 2 hours, it's a 2 hours game.
Wow.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm in shock.
Fun.
This is incredible, Mo. And like you try to like create us a briefing, like you meet with a, for example, with a client, and then you create like a briefing, like the expectations and what you want to achieve, what are the objectives, and then like you put everything together in a game.
I have to do a briefing. I have to let the client know about what's going to happen. I have to give them a prototype. I have to see if maybe they're going to be approving the concept, the design, the framework. Do they like to see this kind of art? Sometimes the art is not very friendly to certain people. Maybe they don't want to see certain characters because of diversity, because of accessibility, and so on and so forth. So we need to make it as much as possible very targeted to what the client wants and how they want to see the board, the characters, the art look like. So it goes from alpha to beta, sometimes even gamma, because games are very sensitive, more
Yeah.
than just presenting a design, because the game can, you can either make it or break it when it works with the with a specific client.
That's true. And how do you measure like the success and effectiveness of the course you have designed, or the games that you have designed? Like, this is like a great
Well,
question.
it really depends on, it really depends on did we satisfy the learning objective or not. But there's a metric here. So if I'm doing a long-term project with a client, I might have further more involvement than just getting to the learning level on Kirkpatrick, but maybe I'm going to be part of following up, keeping up with them to make sure that the performance has been offboarded to what they do on day-to-day basis. I have that with one of my clients. I've been working with a client now for, we're getting into 7 months, and at the end I have to give them a full-on analysis with grading, with performance indicators on what each and every person has done with me throughout the program. And even after the program, I get some data to see what, does it match, does it not, and I work with the
Analyzing the
client.
data. Whoa.
Yes, it has to be. So we're looking into KPIs, that the KPI work over time or not. This is one way. The other way is that the people have to do a specific thing at the end and they need to verbally state it. This just happened last week. People were playing one of our board games. It's called the Seven Wonders. And people at the end of the day, the trainers told me this because I wasn't delivering. The trainers told me, they were asking about if we can buy the game. They were like, no, we created the game. Can we use the game in our work? Because it helped us understand change. It helped us understand forces and how we can deal with day-to-day work. So this is another form of feedback or a metric, because they really came out with the actual processes that they can use on the job, especially that the trainers managed to implant all of this in the game itself when they're giving the briefing and as they're taking them from one point to the other. So it can be long term and it can be short term, because that game is only for like a day on three main concepts. And other programs, it can be a long time. There's another gamification system that was done for 2,735 employees across 3 months.
Wow.
It was a big gamification system. We had to make it gamified in a micro learning nuggets. We had to give them specific prompts on which piece of learning that they would have. We used to deliver it to them on Mondays and Thursdays during specific timestamps. And we here targeted timestamps, geolocations, answers, views, how many times did they view it. We had a leaderboard. We had specific scarce badges that some might have and others might not. We had a global leaderboard. We have weekly leaderboards for 3 months. And then we did an analysis. We did surveys. And then we talked with the client. And then we visited the client a month after. And we started to see that there has been an increase in the use of what they have been learning about their value model in the day-to-day, into day-to-day meetings and the day-to-day briefings based on the stories that were mentioned in the game. So that's another form of making sure, you know what, this this is successful, this is effective. So when you're
Really.
looking at it, it's
That's
not only
motivation.
design. Yeah, it's design, it's data, and also how far are you trying to measure the performance output. The performance improvement is not going to be increasing 100%, but that tad is what we're looking for. That just that step into performance change is what we're looking for. If that happened, then we've already offered the learner the autonomy to continue on.
Wow. It increases motivation, and I believe that at the end they feel like more engaged with the content that they're actually consuming.
Yep, because at that time with the 2700, it was using push notifications on their phones, using minor genialies in a mobile format, and chatbots and AI that would be answering them back.
That's an amazing use
And
case.
we did, it was a use case. Yes, it was a use case. And it was one of the biggest companies here in my country. And it worked because it had to be not only engaging, but the user experience has to be simple,
Yeah.
and they need to get rewards on it, like you got the right answer, you did this, you did bad, they get feedback.
That you want
So
to like
obviously, I'm not
keep
trying
going.
to promote here, but because we can on Genially offer people feedback on wrong and right, and also we can easily implant it, embed it in even a mobile, and we can create it for mobile use. It helped us in doing this.
Amazing. But I have an amazing question for you. Like, what are some of your personal and professional goals?
Personal, I need to lose some weight because
No,
I've been gaining a lot of weight recently.
I have a great question for you at the end of the
I need
interview.
to lose some weight. I haven't been very avid when it comes to going to the gym these days, and I have to do that because this morning I had to go to the gym. I'm like, you know what? It's gonna cost so much time. I have to go to the office. I have to do that. So losing weight has always been a personal goal because I've been going up and down with the weight. And another personal goal, and I can consider it personal and professional, is finishing the book and promoting the Alchemist framework, trying to patent it. And another goal is to be able to take this and put it to one of our biggest conferences, which is ATD, so I can see if globally it can be recognized or considered in the light
I'm
of the
sure.
research that came from it.
I'm sure it will be. Actually, one of your videos in ATD Toolbox was such a success. Everybody was sharing that video.
Thank you so much. I mean, I hope it would work. I hope it would work.
It was an incredible video, and guys, if you haven't seen it, seen the Moe Ash video at ATD Toolbox, you need to watch it on YouTube. It's still there, and there are like two videos are
There
ATD
are two
Toolbox.
videos, one for branching scenarios and the other one is for Genially. Yeah.
It's amazing, amazing. Like I have seen it on LinkedIn, I people were commenting about that, and the way that you explain things so easily, like you have that magic, you have that gift actually
Thank you.
to make
Thank you.
things like
Appreciate it.
very simple. Um, let's talk about Genially. How did you discover Genially?
I think
2019. Let's get back.
obviously it was by accident. So during
Wow.
COVID, during COVID, a lot of traffic started to happen in L&D. There were many virtual conferences, many virtual webinars, many people were promoting so many different things, and you got exposed to new LMSs, to new tools, two. So one of the authoring tools that was trying to discover alongside Storyline was Is Easy. So Is Easy is another Spanish tool, and it's very user friendly. It's web based, but it's pretty expensive. I'm so sorry to say it's easy. It's pretty expensive. It's a lot of euros. And when I paid for it the first time, because I was doing some work for a client, I discovered there was a embed, and then this logo right there, that Genially logo right there. It's like, what is that? Clicked on it, and I did the free trial, and I started to do some stuff, and my client actually liked it. And afterwards, during those virtual webinars, I'm like, why not try Genially? Why not try Genially? Let's try this one. I discovered that tool. Why not? So it was the form of community that we had where we were trying to help one another during that time, and it helped spread. And accidentally, afterwards, I found there was a Facebook group. At that time was Pedro. I suppose it was Pedro who picked me up from Facebook, then handed me over to Florina. And then from Florina, I became an ambassador. And here I am with Chrisia for the past couple of years now.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how it
Wow.
happened.
And now he's creating amazing things with Genially, and he's always like doing amazing webinars with us and partnering with us and showing his
I
magic
stopped using
everywhere.
other e-learning tools, to be completely honest as well. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's
But
incredible. Like every
easier.
time that we have a webinar, you are like our support in the chat because you know like all the answers. Like people get stuck in something, like you start like writing. It's incredible to have you as a partner in our webinars. Like we need more. It's incredible.
Always your
But
help.
in your experience as a heavy user and Genially ambassador, how does Genially help create engaging, gamify learning experience?
Okay,
In your opinion,
so the some of the stuff that happened with Genially recently offered that help, offered that thing. So before in Genially, before we had the many different forms of animation, and the integration function was pretty minute, we use basically logic. So we're going to be using the timers, we're going to be using the integrators, we're going to be using some of the embedding tools to use Genially to create something that will be easier for the learners. What helped at the beginning is that we can build it for mobile, we can build it for landscape, we can build it and send it in a direct link, we can embed it at that time. We can only embed it iframe and send it in a direct link. That was so easy and that was so simple, because with other tools we couldn't do that, and you had to either learn a lot of code or go into a frenzy of triggers that happens on many other e-learning tools. Not that it's bad, but sometimes I don't need that much functionality. I don't need to be a wizard when it comes to using all of those tools. So that was the first step. Now, the templates on Genially helped out, not to use it as it is, but it helped out to give me, so you can actually do this. The templates offered inspiration. On other authoring tools, you had to see people doing something, then you get the inspiration. But Genially kind of like cut time and corners on us, because the templates offered, okay, so I can do spinning wheels, I can play with the animation, and that helped. Then when things started to become better with Scape, I'm going to give a lot of credit to Scape, to the French and the German team of Scape. I hold a lot of respect to you guys. You're amazing. They offered coding that I can plant inside of Genius. Like, okay, so I can put code. When that happened, all hell went loose, because now I can do complex interactions. I don't need to write code. I can put code. I can copy code. So this way, I know how to make learners see different variables, different assets happen at different timings. I can play with the animation. I can manipulate some templates to do what I want. I can do not only gamify creations for e-learning, I can use that for physical classes. And I'm pointing there because the class is like right there, two offices away from here. So I can do it for physical class. I can do it in an online classes. So at the beginning, I used to use it in virtual programs and then physical programs. And then I was like, so why not make a board game and let the people figure out all of the questions and the interactions using an app? Why do an app? Let's make it in Genially and let them interact using Genially, because app building is going to take me so much time. So what does Genially offer? Good, simple user experience and a user
and
interface that
versatility.
I can create.
And
That's
it's
the thing.
versatility because you say something important. Like Genially is a no-code authoring tool, yes, but for people that they haven't, like they're starting or in this instructional design industry and they don't know how to begin, it is easier to learn
Mhm,
how to do it, as you said, like from templates, from watching a webinar, from our Genial Academy. Like it's very intuitive. But if you would like something more advanced, you can play with the features, you can like do some coding if you want. Like
mhm,
it it's I believe that it's a tool that it stands alone but
mhm.
complements well with other tools if you would like to use it with other tools as well.
And the point is, now I can put questions and get and offer the learners feedback. Now I can track their activities. Now I can let each and every learner put
Our
their
new
name
features are
in.
on fire.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Specifically, the point that now my learners go in using their name that is tied to the IP address, and it can be feasibly for them to continue on the experience without putting Genially inside of an LMS. So it's It's an encapsulation on their own. Away from that, now Genially has Scorm. So now I can jump over the fence of every time a client asks me, can you do Scorm? Yes, I can do Scorm. At the beginning, I was like, I can do Scorm, but not using this tool, but another tool. Now I can do Scorm. Now I can control it. Now I can have even no LMS and use Genially as a mini LMS that can give me timestamps, traffic, um, activities, how many times the learner went through it, what were the answers, everything. So to me, it became a no brainer to just depend on it for everything that I want. I know I'm biased. I know. Everyone that would hear me talking right now would be like, oh, he's so darn biased. I am biased, okay? Because you know what? I used to pay a lot of money for so many different things. And I love having so many different tools. So if one tool offer me everything that I want, so why not? Who cares? I am biased because it offers me ease of use.
I love
Who gives?
it's incredible that I always ask you like, how did you do it? And you always say it's completely made in Genially. Everything
I,
has been made in Genially. Like even for me, it's like, whoa, how do you actually create this? And yes, it's incredible that you have or the user have all the features, like endless possibilities to mix each other, to given different uses, like to that they let you to see other results, like different results.
and
And
also, I have to give thumbs up. I'm not the best Genie developer. TJ, Tasneem Jad, is the main developer here. She's the one that creates custom creations inside of Genie. She's the one that taught me, oh, you
that's
can
true.
do this. I'm like, how did you do that? I did it in Genie. Like, teach me, teach me, Gypsy woman. How did you do that? So Tasneem is the one that in our team is the one that creates mind-blowing stuff using Genie, and she knows nothing about coding. She is oblivious to coding. She just understands the logic of how things should be, and she plays with that logic.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, it was wonderful to hear your experience about Genially, because it always like how actually you create gamify activities using only Genially. Like I believe that is important. We need to have a webinar about it. It's like how to. In your opinion, what skills does an instructional designer need
I'm
today?
gonna say this over and over. Systems. And I'm not I don't really call myself more often to people that understand instructional design and instructional designer. To anyone else, I'm gonna say I'm an instructional designer. To people that understand instructional design, I'm gonna say I'm a systems designer. I love systems. Systems is understanding the complete iceberg model. So this is the event that the learner would see. What are the patterns? What kind of behavior you want to foster? And what form of loops you want to put the learner in. What do you want to reinforce? What do you want to balance and stop? This is a complete body of knowledge called systems thinking by Robert Singe. So I love systems. Gamification is systems. Instructional design is systems. So I'm not in love with instructional design. I'm in love with creating systems. So you need to think about your ID journey, your ID work in the form of how can I make the best system for the learners? That system can end up with a clear, measurable, achievable learning objective. If that is possible, the system works. If that's not possible, you're not doing instructional design. And if you looked at all of the books, Carl Kapp, Rancy Green, Kathy Moore, Julie Dirksen, Hadja Nuruddin, they're all talking about the same thing in different genres, using stories, using data, using whatever that they're using. They're looking into how can I make a system work? That's the point. So think in systems and consider data. Data is always your friend.
Wow, this is like catchy systems.
It's systems all the way.
And for example, if I'm transitioning from teaching to instructional design, like how you can like get that intro to systems.
I believe the two holy books that we can depend on in this area is Map It by Kathy Moore, so you can understand what is action mapping. It's an amazing system. It's an amazing framework. Not a model, it's a framework. And also Julie Dirksen, both of her books, The Elephant and the other one, which is Design for How People Learn. And obviously speaking as well, I'm trying to remember the name of the book. It was by Luke Hobson. I don't want to butcher the name. I kind of like remember. Hold on. Luke is a friend. I don't want to say the name of his book badly. Um, What I Wish I Knew Before Becoming an Instructional Designer. That's a very, very good book.
Oh,
And
I remember
I
when he
love it.
launched it.
It's amazing. I remember going through it, but I was going to say what I knew. No, no, no. What I wish I knew before becoming an instructional designer. So it's for any person that is getting into instructional design, whether you're going into corporate, higher education, K to 12, come what may. You just need to know certain things. If you can go through those three books, that would be more than
You're in a
enough.
good way, on your
You're
way.
you're, you're in good hands. You're
You're
really in
right.
good hands. If you're willing to take the route forward, like with absolute studying, and you can find all of this and more, go for the Do It Messy book by Robin Sargent and apply something that is so simple. I know I'm talking about friends of mine. I know I'm biased again. Who cares? I'm biased. I'm biased to my friends. I'm biased to their work. Not Kathy Moore. I would not say that
They
Kathy
are
Moore and Julie Dirksen.
professionals, and those are great, great
Yeah,
books.
Kathy Moore and Julie Dirksen are not my friends. They're people that I look up to. But Luke and Robin are my friends, and I love their
Well, they
work.
are
So
friends.
yes, I'm biased to my friends. Who cares?
Any advice for future instructional designers or transitioning teachers
Read about instructional
who
design
aspire
before
to
getting
be
into it.
instructional designers?
Yeah, read about instructional design before getting into it. Because some people are thinking it's all about roses and rainbows. It's a daunting job. It needs a lot of studying. It never ends. And I must say, I'm so sorry. I do not see anyone as a guru, a thought leader, an expert. What I love about all of the names that I've mentioned on others, they all consider themselves learners. No one is bigger than the other. No one is greater than the other. They just want to be better people, helping other people do what is needed. So, yes, read about it. And no one is an expert. We're all learners here. And it's a good community. It's a community that gives. We're all helping one another here.
Yeah, and actually, I believe that you are always learning because I believe this industry in the past years, there are always like new tools are like emerging and techniques and everything is happening so fast. So you need to keep learning about, for example, right now it's AI, AVR, all like the multiple techniques that you like are using for.
AI.
Yeah, AI right now is on fire,
Yeah,
and it will be on fire in the next years. Like
true.
the only
True.
beginning. Well, Mo, so you know that we ask the last guest to suggest a question for the next guest. So
Uh-huh.
Starcap was our last guest, and he asked us to ask you, what do you eat to stay so fit?
I don't eat.
What do you do to be so fit?
I
That was,
do inter
I
I
thought it was
do
a joke. No, it's a, please
I'm
ask.
having a lot of coffee. Okay, okay. I'm having a lot of
Be
coffee.
honest.
I'm honest. I'm honest. I'm on a diet. I'm doing a lot of coffee and a 20-hour intermittent fasting plus working out to get myself back in shape.
Okay, 20 hours intermittent fasting and coffee
Yes,
with no
20 hours.
sugar.
No sugar. This is I don't like sugar in my coffee or tea. It's always just coffee.
I need a
Coffee,
flavor.
water, coffee, 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 and then I go back as a corpse to my home and eat a lot of protein. A lot of chicken, a lot of chicken liver, a lot of fish, and I sleep. That's it. I'm trying. I'm trying hard
So you
because
have
it's one of my
a
principles.
healthy diet. You're a
I'm trying.
healthy people. Okay.
Not really, not really. I'm not extremely healthy, and you know that. You know that. You already know that. I'm not a very healthy person. I am not
How
a very healthy
I
person.
will let
All right.
Carl know.
I used
So
to be,
then,
but not anymore.
what would you like to ask to our next guest?
Since I kind of know who's the next guest, so I'm gonna be asking that question. How are you so calm all the time? You're so calm. Like he's like the ocean in on a springy day. He's always so calm. He he's so calm. He's so calm. He's so serene and so calm. So please, how are you so calm all the time? Please,
I want to
please
have like
answer.
a spoiler alert. Who is the next guest?
I know who he is. So I'm saying, dude, how are you so calm? Actually, not dude, big brother, because I've always been calling him big brother. Big brother, how are you all so calm? What do you do?
I will
What,
ask him that.
yeah. What pills do you take? Or like, I mean, tell me your medicine. Tell me your poison. What do you do?
Oh my god. We have his interview pretty soon, so will do. I will ask him.
Fair
Thank
enough.
you, Mo, for being here with
Pleasure.
me today. Thank you for everything, for sharing your knowledge with us, your expertise, for your honest opinion, non-biased opinion as well.
Nope. Unapologetic.
But congratulations for your book, everything that you have achieved. You are very personal that we actually value and admire you here at Genially. And not only because you have created amazing things at Genially, because you have helped us to improve our platform as well. So your
Appreciate it.
feedback, your thoughts, your opinion, and how you collaborate with us, it has been like we value that. So thank you very much for everything, and you are a great professional. So I'm so
Thank you so
happy
much.
to interview. I'm so happy to be here with you and to
I'm
be your
happy that I'm
friends.
doing the interview with you, by the way, but yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much. We will do amazing things together. Maybe a use case when one of your
Soon
projects
enough.
is launched. I
Soon
would
enough.
love to
Soon
do it.
enough.
I'm gonna do more spoilers alert. No more, no more. Thank
No
you very
more.
much. Guys, see you in another episode of Coffee with Genially with the unknown person that Mo almost say his name.
How are you so calm?
And thank you very much for being here with us in this episode of Coffee with Genially. Bye
You're most welcome.
bye.